Welcome to the Create a Life You Love podcast, the go-to podcast for people who are called to make a positive impact through the power of coaching. You'll hear encouraging stories from coaches sharing their journeys and their lessons learned along the way, tips from top experts who help coaches thrive in their life and their business, and so much more. So if you're ready to create a business and a life of impact that you love, let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of the Create a Life You Love podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chantal Guin. I'm an author, speaker, transformation neurocoach, and a certified life purpose coach.
And I'm Gwen White, a certified quantum human design specialist and virtual coach.
Together, Gwen and I are on a mission to dramatically transform and create community in the coaching industry by supporting you in saying no to all those complicated cookie cutter strategies that just lead to burnout and overwhelm, and instead saying yes to simplification with a focus on alignment, service, and impact.
Definitely. And with our combined experience and areas of expertise, Chantal and I are here to help you create aligned momentum in your business and your life.
Absolutely. So something I forgot to do in a couple of episodes, so I want to get back to it, is a big shout out to Kayla AA in Canada, who left a review on Apple Podcasts saying, Chantal and Gwen truly care about delivering excellent conversations to their audience. Their full hearts to make an impact with the coaching community is absolutely incredible, inspiring, and empowering. I highly recommend checking out their channel. So thank you, Kayla, which I know you're Kayla G.
Exactly. And Kayla was a recent guest. She was with us on episode 120 and sharing with us all about how to use a system called the Gene Keys in your business as an entrepreneur. So definitely check that out. And of course, while we're sending out love, let's definitely send some out to our sponsor, the Create a Life You Love membership, our active community of passionate, purpose-driven coaches who are up-leveling in the most powerful ways to increase their knowledge, momentum, and impact. So for more information and to apply, check out createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership.
Love it. Okay, everybody. So we're doing just kind of a ad lib share time because we're both really getting into a lot of this AI, this artificial intelligence, and it's blowing up our businesses, and we're helping other people with their businesses. And we were just talking excitedly about it. And we're like, time out. Let's keep this conversation rolling, but record it and share it as a podcast episode. So obviously, if you've listened to any of the recent podcast episodes or follow any type of social media or anything, like I've been obsessed with ChatGPT. So that's one of them. And I feel like I've spent a lot of time going really deep with ChatGPT. And I've only heard about some of these other ones, but not nearly as many. Like every time I get to connect with you, Gwen, like you're like, have you tried this? Have you tried this? And I'm like, I want to try all the things.
Yeah, how this came up is we were on an episode talking to a coach, and she was talking about transcribing, and this was Sarah Jane Smith. So definitely check out that episode. But she was talking about transcribing all of her podcast episodes. And I was like, hey, I know a tool that does that. Of course, she recommended Otter AI, which I think is a great tool. But one that I have been playing around with lately is one called Crisp, and it's KRISP.ai. What it does is it takes notes for all your calls, anytime you're using your mic, and particularly when you're on Zoom, it can fully transcribe whatever you're talking about automatically. So super great for transcribing your meeting. But what I really love about it is Crisp. It's really known for removing noise from your calls, but it has this really cool feature called meeting notes. And so it can take your transcription and actually summarize them using AI technology into this really great, succinct summary. So I've actually been using it on my coaching calls so that I can fully focus in, with my client. And I know that after the call, making sure I've got crisp activated, that I am going to have a full transcript of the call, but also I can just click and make a great summary that I can then input into my coaching platform so that I have a really good idea of what we talked about from call to call. So it's really, it allows me to really focus. I don't have to worry so much about taking physical notes during the coaching call, which we know is really important. So one of my new faves, and highly recommend you checking it out. And they have a really great, generous, free version.
I'm so excited to try it out that Gwen was telling me about it, and then we took like a little 15-minute break, and I'm like, I'm going to download it and use it for the episode we're talking about it. And of course, that did not allow myself enough time to get everything figured out and worked out. So don't do that. If like you have some, like give yourself time and space to figure it out and tweak it. So if my sound is sounding different than it typically does, that's 100% my fault, and don't do what I did.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you give yourself a minute to get crisp connected to your tech setup. So you'll need to make sure you have all of the things pointed. So your speaker, and if you have an external mic, all of those things, because Crisp will then essentially utilize those tools in your configuration. So just make sure you give yourself a little time to get that set up. And then you're kind of rock and rolling once once you've downloaded it, got the whole setup configured. Yeah. But again, give yourself some time. Don't do this right before you go into a coaching call or a Zoom call.
Or hit record for a podcast episode. So some ideas that just the small amount that you've shared, like you've literally now said as much on the podcast episode as I know, that because you just shared about that much before we said, let's get this recorded. So my brain is already starting to think about, other than like, I love the coaching notes idea, and I'd love to be able to like send my clients summaries, or like the one-on-one clients, we have like a shared notes space, so I can remind myself of what we're working on and our goals, but so they can also and put their goals. So yes, I love, love, love all that. And I'm like, wow. So all of our podcast episodes, which is why I wanted to try it, we could then get the summary, and with the help of other AI like ChatGPT, like make really powerful show notes and summaries, and like just I can already envision so many cool ways to combine those two specifically for podcasting, and then like repurposing content. So taking that episode all over, your email newsletter, your social media, everywhere, all the places and all the things.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. It is a great tool, to add to your AI tool stack, so that, you have great summaries, great meeting notes. And again, with Crisp, it's happening literally in the moment. So it's easy breezy again, once you get it set up.
Yes.
So.
I'm sure it's a matter of a click of a button and I'll have it figured out like 5 seconds after we're done. But the like pressure of
exactly, it's always that.
I can't make this work. But yes, we will get it working. I'm very excited to try it out. Let's see. Well, we'll just go off of. So tell us about the resource that you created, and that we'll make sure that the link is included. And then we can definitely hit on those and then see what other ones might pop up in conversation.
Absolutely. So I created the 6 best AI tools list for coaches. So of course, at the very top of that list, ChatGPT and Crisp. But there is also this fantastic extension that I found out about called AIforCoaches. P as in Paul, R, M as in Mary. Again, it's a browser extension. You can actually connect it in any browser. And what it does is it really boosts ChatGPT's productivity. So there is a community behind AIPRM that are out there creating prompts, which for a lot of people who are just getting started with ChatGPT, learning how to create prompts is kind of the biggest learning curve. And so you can actually use this extension. Once it's installed, it automatically connects to your ChatGPT account. You don't have to do anything. And then, yeah, your homepage will look just a little different, but it'll show some prompts that you can use. There are some fun drop downs that you can actually select from the top. So if you're specifically looking for help with a marketing initiative or project, then you can select marketing from the drop down. And then there are subcategories. So say you need some help with SEO, you'll have some amazing prompts to try out. And every day the prompts change, and you can just try them out, see how they work for you. They all work a little bit differently, and that's kind of the fun of AIPRM. Some are really great, some are not so great, but yeah, it's helpful just to have, help with the prompting piece, because again, it tends to trip us up. It's like, oh, what do I ask for here? So it can make that much simpler as well. I encourage anyone who uses AIPRM to get connected to their forum. It's very easy to find that information. They've got lots of links so that you can get connected in, and that way you can really understand what's going on behind the scenes and how this whole little plugin or extension works, and you can participate in that if you so choose. But yeah, it's been a really handy tool in certain cases. Like literally there's a prompt for create a 30-day content calendar. So like super helpful. And what that one does too is it actually creates a table, and it's got week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, etc. And it creates a really cute little headline. And then you can go back in if you want, to expand on those headlines. You can ask then ChatGPT to write, a few paragraph post for each headline. So again, you can then use it as more of a brainstorming tool. So AIPRM is definitely a fun one and incredibly, really expands on ChatGPT's functionality. So for
I love
sure, check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I love this tool and tools like it for a couple different reasons. So I did try it out briefly and then ended up temporarily uninstalling it because I'm working on a workshop where I don't know that I want to complicate the workshop and I need my screen to look like what the workshop participant screen looks like. But I played with it a little bit. And what I love about it is that it's taking away some of those barriers and making ChatGPT that much more accessible to people, and that much more powerful and useful. And just, yeah, really flattening a little bit of that learning curve. And I have gotten pretty good at the prompts and kind of enjoy coming up with it. But then you're limited by your own creativity. So skimming some of the ideas, and you're like, I didn't even think about having it help me with that type of thing. So it's so cool on so many levels.
Agreed. I think that's a great point that you make, Chantal, that it really does expand your idea of how ChatGPT can be used. And because the prompts are coming from people all over the world, they're being deployed in such different ways. So yeah, you'll actually see prompts in different languages too, which I think can be really helpful for coaches who are coaching in different languages.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I saw on your thing there's another one which I think you mentioned on one episode, but I feel like we can go much deeper. But the Tome.ai.
Yeah, Tome is one I've just really started playing with. But if you need, right now, everyone's using ChatGPT, but it's somewhat limited in that it really only generates words. So now introducing Tome, and it's TOM as in Mary, E.ai. This is an AI presentation generator. So it not only creates text, but it also creates images and narratives very quickly using AI. So you can go in, and I know a lot of teachers are really enjoying this application, but it can also be used for pitch decks. So, say you've got a new product or business as an entrepreneur that you're pitching, it can help you really create, a quick and easy presentation deck, or at least a start of one. One thing to note right now, it's fairly limited in its kind of ability to build an extensive presentation. So right now, what it will do just automatically off the cuff is an 8-slide presentation, but it's actually very good at what it does. I kind of threw it a curveball and asked it to create a presentation for human design based on one very specific aspect. Now, I will say that it didn't know the human design system. So the some of the text that it came up with wasn't necessarily accurate, but the way that it presented the information was really interesting. And it was definitely something I could build upon. And if you need additional slides in your deck, it's very easy actually to add them. You just add them one at a time. So it can be cumbersome again if you have a very lengthy presentation. But again, making a lengthy presentation deck is a cumbersome experience anyway. So why not try out Tome? Again, you can start using it for free. And they, of course, are encouraging people to use this tool. So by sharing it, you actually get additional what they call credits, so that you have additional free access to Tome. So yeah,
Amazing.
it's a lot of fun. And
Absolutely.
yeah, the images it comes up with are really interesting. It uses a very specific AI technology for those. And you can actually, if you're not crazy about an image or two, you can go kind of behind the scenes and add in additional prompts for imagery that you feel would be more suitable. So it essentially is creating images based on the language that you give it.
So cool.
It
Are,
is.
is it all the same size, or like on Canva, can you have it do like different sizes of images, or it's like a 16:9, like general presentation size?
You can play somewhat with the formatting. It's definitely not to the level that Canva is, but they have some kind of I want to say 3 different kind of slide formats that you can pick from. They have, of course, you can play with the colors a bit. Another thing to note is when you create a presentation on Tome, at least at this point, it's not something you can download. And then so you're essentially using that website, you know, to present your presentation. So just bear that in mind. It's not like you can, download it into a PowerPoint or a PDF and put it on a thumb drive. So you'll definitely need Wi-Fi if you're going to use it for an actual presentation. You need to make sure your technology is really snappy. Um,
You said thumb drive, and I'm like, I don't even have a USB port on my computer. Like
I
everything's
know a lot of people don't
Google
anymore.
folders. I'm like, what's a thumb drive again?
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, people still go into boardrooms and, with a thumb drive as opposed to, or at least as a backup,
True, true.
yeah. If,
Okay, cool.
your technology dumps out.
That
And yeah,
happens.
you get a thumb drive, you can actually plug it into a monitor directly and yeah, run the show that way. But yeah, so Tome again has some kind of funky limitations, but it's really cool as far as AI technology tools. And again, can easily be used in a coaching setting. If you're making a presentation about a particular technique that you're either rolling out to a group of coaches or to a client or a group of clients so that you can explain it, visually as well. It's a really fun tool to use. And again, you can create quick presentations on the fly. So it can come in handy as
Very
well for that, which, as we know, is not necessarily something we can do very easily at this point. I mean, making a Canva presentation quickly, yeah, or even a PowerPoint, or yeah, there are limitations to our ability to knock those out quickly. So if you need a quick one and you have a really good idea about what you need to present and you don't need a lot of slides, definitely check out Tome because it
so
would be an
cool.
amazing tool for you.
Yeah. I could see myself playing with it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like the learning curve, because I do eat, breathe, and sleep like presentations. Like, so I've already got so many templates. It's super easy to copy paste. Like, I want this type, like, I've got so many systems in place. Like, I can crank out a presentation very quickly. I do not need. Um, but again, making it more accessible for people that don't have as much experience or need to do it. And now that that technology exists as an improving, I could totally see Canva doing a higher level, more options of it. And what popped in my mind when I asked about the sizing, I'm like, what if I don't want 8 slides? I want 8 graphics for social media that then I could download. So it doesn't sound like that's a possibility yet, but I could see like with Canva, incorporating something such as ChatGPT and being able to generate 30 days of content and then it automatically going into Canva and ready to download. And then they've got a scheduling calendar within there. Like Canva could really like capitalize on this and take over the world.
Agreed. I think that's a great idea. Canva, are you listening?
Yeah. Hire me. Let me
Exactly.
know.
Yeah, how much fun would it be to have that feature in Canva, to have it be able to automatically create, and more quickly create, a presentation, a post, a graphic, something that you could easily and quickly download and share. Yeah, and then you just pop over to ChatGPT for, the descriptive text and done.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So yes, I could see, yeah, whether they, partner up with Tome, who knows? But yeah, this is definitely, I think, the wave of the future.
Oh yeah.
So I'm certain we'll see additional options and build outs, just like what you're talking about, because more and more and more of us do need the ability to make really great, snappy presentations and don't have a lot of time to prepare them. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, with the help of AI technology, yeah, we're starting to see this as a reality. It's very exciting.
Yeah. And it's moving and growing so fast. So
Oh
like
my God.
this this is not my area of expertise or anything, and that idea popped up with minimal understanding or knowledge or backstory. Like I'm sure they're already like it's going to roll out tomorrow. Like people are already thinking about it that are much smarter and more like know how to make that idea become a reality. So
Yeah.
things are just growing so fast. It's really fun time to um yeah, just kind of be in a little bit of the know of some of the things happening. And so you can watch it evolve and pick and choose what aligns with you, so as to not get overwhelmed, because people
Exactly.
do.
It is easy to do that. Yeah, I made the mistake of asking ChatGPT what some other chatbots and AI technology tools were. And of course, talk about a rabbit hole.
Yes.
Yeah, it shared a ton. And yeah, I was like, oh, I've got to research every one of them. Yeah, it turns out many of the ones it happened to mention are really tools for developers with high level coding abilities. But again, these are all, back end tools that hopefully we as end users will get to eventually. And of course, we're starting to see that eventuality. We'll see an actual application of these tools that we can use and enjoy. So things like Crisp, things like um, yeah, Tome. So yeah, it has essentially just a plug and play interface where we can play in the sandbox, as it were.
I love it.
And speaking of sandbox, if anyone is interested in kind of the big brother of ChatGPT, GPT-3, there's actually a way to access, the sort of more advanced cousin or brother of ChatGPT. And I've included a link to that on the AI tools. Again, it's a little bit different than communicating with ChatGPT. It's not quite as personable, but it's kind of fun. And they literally call it a sandbox. So you're essentially getting a little peek at what's available to a more commercial client or customer. And so there's essentially, again, a limitation on the amount of time you can spend in the sandbox and play in ChatGPT, but it's certainly an interesting experience. And I encourage everyone, particularly if they're using ChatGPT, to check out GPT-3 just to see what it does. And what's interesting, if you've signed up for a ChatGPT account, anything you do in the GPT or the GPT-3 sandbox is automatically saved for you. So, they do work together, which is kind of nice. It's the same, company, OpenAI, that has rolled that out as well. So it's, yeah, kind of an interesting look at a newer, bigger, more advanced version of our friend and favorite chatbot, ChatGPT.
Yeah. I've played with GPT-3 a little bit. And
Oh,
again, so for anybody listening, that's head is like, I want to go do all the things because that's where mine goes. I have had to look at, here are the like priority areas of things that I'm learning, and some are for my personal, some are for my more like mindfulness, and then some are more business related. I'm like, I'm going to give myself an hour and a half every day of learning time, and that has to be divided between. So I have about 45 minutes a day that I'm allowing myself to learn about ChatGPT or anything AI related, because I was spending hours and hours and hours every day. Like that's all I wanted to do. And I was going way deep. And then there's more like every 2 minutes, like in different coaching communities you're in and people, and like you've been a huge one, Gwen. You're like, have you seen this one? Have you seen? I'm like, ah,
not
like,
too much.
yeah,
Overload.
yeah. Like I could so quickly get this project done, but I keep leaving it to go do all these other things. So I'm like, nope.
Exactly.
So there is definitely a level of that shiny object syndrome. Um, Nobody needs to go try out every single one or learn every single one inside and out, but pick the ones that match the goals that you're working on and feel aligned with you, and then set some boundaries if you need to. Maybe not everybody's like psycho obsessive like me, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you put parameters on your time and your learning time specifically. That can be very challenging to do, particularly, these days. We're swimming in learning resources. So, yeah, what's nice is we've organically kind of started up an AI um, group for our little coaching community, those of us who are nerding out on AI. And we're starting to see the sharing of learning resources. So, for instance, there's some great, learning resources out on YouTube, some very specific channels that are just focused on this. And so, yeah, that's something I hope we can roll out soon as an additional resource. But yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. But yeah, it's a very exciting time, truly. And it is very easy to completely dive in and get lost for hours just playing with the various chatbots. I checked out a few of the other like newer chatbots, the ones that are not necessarily made like ChatGPT are, and wow, what a completely different experience. Specific names don't come to mind at the moment, but yeah, some of them are literally designed just to be social. So they're just meant for people to have conversations. And right now, that's another real challenge for a lot of people is isolation. And so chat technology is moving to the forefront just to give people, and again, they're oftentimes attached to an avatar. So there are some that are very new and they're using like really cutting edge 3D technology, and it looks like you're talking to a person. It's a little freaky. And they have names, unlike ChatGPT, who, you can call me anything you want, but um, yeah, these are very specific, to their purpose, and it is definitely for social interaction. So yeah, it's a really interesting time.
My brain goes to the special educator in me was like, okay, I could see this going two ways. Like we're going to further lessen social skills of our young ones and some of our old ones. But what if we could harness it and use it to help increase social skills and embed that in our education system? And that's a soapbox I've been standing on too. Is okay, educators, we can stay, hunkered down and still do things the way we have for the 1800s. There's no reason the start time and end time and the summer breaks, like all that was from when we were like farming communities who didn't have electricity. Like we do not change with the times. And then we wonder why it's all falling apart. So we have an opportunity here to embrace this, use it in responsible ways that enhance our craft, as well as teach our students how to use it responsibly and safely and help it grow their skills, because this is not going away. And so if we don't teach our kids, like, yeah, no, we're doing a disservice if we're not embracing this in the education community. And I'll stop now.
No, it's a really interesting conversation to have. We're seeing not only at a school board level, but now we're seeing at state levels, this conversation happening. I saw something today on the news that, a governor of one of the states is encouraging school boards to ban ChatGPT. And it's like, this is,
No.
but yeah, I can certainly understand because he's probably only seeing one side of it. And that's, like creating essentially getting your homework done by ChatGPT. So yeah, there are lots of interesting implications where education is concerned and this technology comes in. It's like, yeah, how much do you hand off to AI to handle for you? Do
So
you hand off it thinking for you and creating for you? So yeah, how much of our humanity do we hand off to our AI chatbot?
Right. And again, teaching the response, because they're going to use it anyway.
Sure.
Um, so teaching them how to use it to enhance the skills you already have, to further your knowledge. It can spell check for you, it can grammar check for you. Like you can write it and then put it in there, and it can give you feedback and suggestions and teach you things. I've learned so much since using ChatGPT, and I've accessed different parts of my brain and different levels of creativity and problem solving and critical thinking that I never did just with like a blank screen being like, I wonder what I want to write about today. Like it's a different level of thinking. And in a lot of ways, you can make it higher order thinking if used the right way. You can also say, write me a term paper for blah, blah, blah. And sorry, kids, ChatGPT does not fact check itself. It will make shit up. So might want to fact check. Make sure you're reading things.
Precisely. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. If we're talking about any kind of specialized knowledge, yeah, you definitely don't want to be just relying on what ChatGPT provides you. But once again, I totally love the idea of letting it help you brainstorm because
Mhm.
yes, I have a similar experience. And what I know now about human design, many, many, many of us do. We're not necessarily content factories. Some people are, but most are not because of the way we're configured. And so Chat GPT can be a very useful tool in helping you, yeah, come up with what am I going to post today and for the next 10 days and for the next 30 days and for the next 90 days and give you some really great ideas based on who it is that want to communicate with and what you want to communicate with them about. Again, making sure that you're fact checking, you're customizing, making it yours, putting it in, your own voice. But yeah, it can be an incredibly valuable tool. So yeah, one other honorable mention. There are a couple of other tools that are on the list that I have put together, but one that I didn't include that I think deserves an honorable mention and something I've just literally just sort of started playing with, and is something called Word Tune. And it's more like, like Google Translate. It's literally like you go over there, you have a little piece of um, text, or you have an idea, you want to just throw it in and get either a summary, or you need it to be rephrased, or um, you just need to play with the wording a bit. It's a great tool for that. And it does come up with some great responses. And it doesn't take a whole lot on the prompting side. So it's a great kind of entry level, fun, and very easy to use, free to use. There, of course, is a premium version. But yeah, so Word Tune is certainly one to play around with and have fun with.
Love it. So do a quick recap of the ones that are on the resource you created and tell them how to access it. And we'll for sure have that in the show notes.
Definitely. So again, our best tools, we've got 6 of them that we're featuring on our list today. And this is, of course, starts with ChatGPT. This is that free AI chatbot that is capable of generating human-like text based on the input. We talked about crisp.ai, taking great meeting notes and ensuring your calls are crisp and clear. The AIPRM, again, this is an extension that really boosts chatbots or ChatGPT's productivity, and it has a very comprehensive prompt database. So it can be a really invaluable tool. And then we talked a little bit about Tome, this AI presentation generator that creates the text, the images, and the narrative. And then you've got a little sandbox time with GPT-3. Again, a more state-of-the-art AI language model that can generate text, it can actually write code. So again, for developers, it's a really handy tool. And then I also, I think we mentioned Otter.ai. I consider it sort of a runner up to Crisp, but Otter AI, it specializes in transcription. So it's really like having your very own assistant for your meetings. And again, there's a generous free plan available.
So exciting. So we will be sure to have the link for people to go download that. And we'll include the link for WordTune because we mentioned that. As we wrap up, I have two kind of questions I want to ask, and hopefully I can remember both of them. So one of them was, if you're fairly new to this AI world, and we'll both share our ideas and reasons why, but like, what would you recommend as a starting point instead of trying to try all of them? Like, where would you recommend someone start?
Yeah. Again, I think ChatGPT is probably the best place to start. For one, it's free. It can be a little challenging to get on these days, but because everyone's using it and there's a lot of resources available for using ChatGPT, I mention it. And then, of course, I also want to just bring up WordTune because it's such a great entry level tool.
I love it. Um, I too,
Oh,
sorry,
I
go
was
ahead.
going to say, one thing that I wanted to ask you, you have really nerded out on ChatGPT,
What?
probably more so than most. And we, you actually offered a really cool workshop, and that there is another workshop coming up. I would love for you to talk a little bit about that because we got some great feedback from the last one and what changes are afoot for the upcoming one, etc. Tell
Yes.
us all the things.
Yeah. So whether you are just getting started, or if you've been playing around for a while, um, this workshop. So I did one February 25th, and in my head, I'm like, this is so fun. And I am like learning 10,000 new things like every other day. So I want to do more of these, but dig deeper and go in different directions and try different things and teach different things. But over and over and over, people that attended, people that watched the replay, people that didn't get a chance to attend and bought the replay, and like over and over and over, everybody was saying, are you doing this again? Where can I sign up for this again? I want to do it again. So I was like, all right, slow my roll. Don't create a whole new presentation yet. So this is essentially the same concept as the previous one. However, there will be a couple new changes. So, kind of the overall idea is that you'll show up, we'll be together for 90 minutes, and it is a workshop. And so, you come prepared with anything you might have related to what you know about your ideal client, what you know about yourself, like kind of a bio. And these can be as polished or unpolished or just ideas in your head, wherever you're at on your journey. And then what do we do? Ideal client bio and elevator pitch. So that kind of like I help statement. So like I help purpose-driven coaches, cut out the overwhelm and make aligned decisions. And obviously this was created off the top of my head, not with ChatGPT, because it would sound way better. So you come with whatever version of those three that you already have, and then we walk through step by step together, showing you how to use ChatGPT to enhance what you already have. And again, if you're brand new and you've never done any of this work, that's fine too. So it's really fun. And it is like I talk about what we're doing, why we're doing it, then I model how we're doing it, and then I mute myself and you get time to play and do, instead of I watched this 90-minute workshop and walked away with 10,000 things that I need to do, but zooms off, life kicks back in, and you never get back around to it. The idea is that you're walking away with it almost completely done, if not completely done, and very easily able to dig as deep as you want to afterwards in the tools. And so tons of great feedback. And because of my 9 to 5 job, I just got to do a 3-day training on providing transformational professional development. And so I'm going to be bringing in a lot of that and just magical. Like, this is so silly. I've given a lot of trainings, I've taken a lot of trainings, and this was 3 days on Zoom. And the morning before I logged on day 3, I'm like, I'm zoomed out, my eyes are burning, my head hurts, I'm tired. And when we broke for lunch and the presenter said, okay, when you come back in an hour, we're going to wrap it up. It's the final session. I started crying, Gwen. I was like, I don't want this experience to be over. And so that was so intentional. Every little thing that they did, you felt so connected, so seen, so heard, and transformed. Like, I walked away from that 3-day experience, and it had transformed my way of being, my beliefs, and now my behavior, and how I will from here on out provide any type of training opportunity, a professional development opportunity, whether that's in my coaching business or for my 9 to 5 job as a state trainer and coach. But yes, I'm super excited to get some of those things rolled out. So that will be a change. And the other thing, people got kind of stuck. Creating the ideal client avatar is what we started with, and it can take a long time. So I'm developing a tool where it's automated, and Gwen's my first guinea pig. She's working on filling it out so I can see how it works when it's not just me plugging in things as a test. But so it's a free tool that whether you're coming to the workshop or not, you'll be able to fill out some simple questions in a Google form, hit submit, and then receive an email that was generated by ChatGPT that has taken what you know about like, what type of people do you like to work with? What are their core values? And there's a little visual of some type of core values that I had ChatGPT make me a table, and then I transferred that into Canva and made it prettier. But things like that. So you're digging deeper and maybe thinking about it in different ways. And then you're providing all that in the Google form. And then through Zapier, it goes to ChatGPT and then gets emailed to you a deeper ideal client avatar. Then maybe I call it the dream client avatar generator is the name of this thing. And it's almost ready to be rolled out. And so I'm going to highly encourage anybody who comes to the workshop to go through that before the workshop day. But even if you are not able to, that's fine. And whether you're interested in the workshop or not, that will be a free tool available to anyone. So before this episode gets aired, I will make sure that that is ready to go and you have the link for that. And the question was, where would I recommend you start? And I would recommend you start with that Google form or with a workshop such as the one I'm presenting. Doesn't have to be from me, but just get plugged in somewhere to find a little bit of some basic knowledge. People are going real deep now. Like, I could teach a thing telling you how to create your own automated thing for part of your business, but that's kind of higher level. If you're starting, come to this workshop or find a beginner workshop. So you're not like, I don't even know how to make a Google form, let alone do all this stuff. So
nice. That's going to be so fantastic. I love that you're incorporating all of the inspiring juice that you've received at your transformational coaching workshop. And this new tool, which, it is going to be, again, yet another game changer. And I can't believe you're giving it away. What is the link that people can actually get more information about the workshop?
Yeah. And anything we talk about will be in the show notes, but it's, the main website is createalifeyoulovecoaching.com. And then it's just /ChatGPT.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I definitely will be there. I look forward to seeing anyone else who joins us for this, slightly tweaked version of the last one. And one thing I definitely want to bring up kudos about, of course, you're amazing at creating these incredible tools, but the template that you included as part of that workshop, I mean, holy cow, it's, it is a priceless tool. So you'll come away, if nothing else, you'll have this avatar generator and this amazing template that has all of these prompts. So you don't have to necessarily, learn how to prompt ChatGPT for marketing, for your coaching business, or for, whatever business it is that you're in. Chantal has done the legwork, all of the hard work for you. It's incredible.
That's what I do. But that has been commonly stated in the feedback survey, is that tool alone was way. The workshop's only $20.23, and they're like, I would have paid $200 for this tool easy. So, it kind of pops in your head like, well, maybe I should charge more next time. And that didn't feel aligned right now. I feel like I really want to get these tools in people's hands and get them up and running. And then, there's other things that I'd be happy to work with people on when they're ready for that. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really cool that this is something that, you've just completely integrated and have taken to so many levels. So I'm excited to witness it, to be part of it. I feel really thrilled and honored, and also to be playing around in, just AI land.
Yes.
With all of these various tools. It's really cool.
It's cool. Thanks for letting me join your WhatsApp community too that you've been building. I've gotten great connections and great ideas and all kinds of resources from there. So
many of those people attended the last workshop or will be attending the upcoming one. So they're people you'll be getting to know quite well.
I love it. Building that community.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let's start closing this down, and everybody can just have an amazing time exploring all the AI.
Absolutely. We'll include links, of course, again, to the workshop, to the freebie that we're giving away today, the little 6 tools for coaches, and then anything else that we've mentioned today. So please check out show notes for all of those. And by all means, get yourself signed up for the workshop, which is going to be Saturday, March 25th. We hadn't mentioned the date.
Details.
I know, exactly. Take it away. More details?
More details. March 25th, 2023. So try, if at all possible, sign up by March 24th to make sure that you get all the necessary automated welcome emails and Zoom link and link to the pre-work per se, that kind of dream client avatar generator. And all that stuff. So, but if it happens to be the morning of the 25th and you want to sign up, we had people sign up, and when we were 5 minutes into the thing, people were registering still. So obviously at that point, I can't help you with tech and problem solving and get you the Zoom. So try to do it by the 24th, but if not, we'll figure it out. So if all of this is like just aligning with you and you want to be part of the Create a Life You Love movement, which incorporates more than just AI, but is obviously, we are bringing that in, but we are helping create community and dramatically transforming the coaching industry. And we would love to have you be a part of it. And we are currently accepting applications for the Create a Life You Love membership. And so just go to createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership, and every single link is going to be in the show notes. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and enjoy the journey. Thank you for listening to the Create a Life You Love podcast. We would love to hear from you about your biggest takeaways. Share them with us on Facebook or Instagram at Create a Life You Love Coaching. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. If you're ready to build aligned and sustainable momentum without overwhelm and burnout, we invite you to apply for the Create a Life You Love membership on our website, createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership. That's it for now. Enjoy the journey.